coordinate geometry questions should be free points on the ACT, and we're going to show you why. So if you get asked to find the midpoint of 2 points in the coordinate plane, you might freak out and think, well, I don't remember the formula, but it's so easy. So 2 points, 1, 2, and 7, 10 are in the coordinate plane. What is the midpoint between them? You literally just find the point between the x and y values. So the midpoint of 1 and 7 is 4 because it is 3 away from both of them. The midpoint between 2 and 10 is 6 because it is 4 away from both of them. It is that easy. The formula also works. 7 plus 1 divided by 2 to give you the x value is 4, and 10 plus 2 divided by 2 to give you the y value also gives you 6. So if you know the formula, great. But if you don't know the formula, just remember the concept is super simple. So just keep it simple. What if you're asked to find the distance between these two same points? Well, these 2 points, if we graph them on the coordinate plane, which you should do on your scratch paper, we can draw these points, connect them, and then we can draw a triangle. We can draw 2 legs so that the line between points 1 and 2, 7, 10, creates a right triangle. The distance is just going to be the hypotenuse of this right triangle. The leg lengths are 6 and 8. And if we use the Pythagorean theorem, we have 6 squared plus 8 squared equals the length between the 2 points squared, which is the hypotenuse of the triangle squared. 36 plus 64 is equal to the distance squared. 100 is equal to d squared. The square root of 100 is 10. So the distance between them is 10. Now let's say you are given 2 points in the coordinate grid and you were told that a line passes through both points and you're asked to find the slope. So we're given the points -3, 2, and 5, 6, and we're told that a line passes through both points and we're asked to find the slope. Well, we just need to find the rise over the run, which is the change in y divided by the change in x. That gives us the slope. So 6 minus 2, that's the change in y, divided by 5 minus -3. That's the change in x. That gives us 4 over 8, which is 1/2. So the slope is 1/2. Now, what if we were given those 2 points and asked to find the equation of the entire line? So we just found the slope. So if we put it in y equals mx plus b point slope form, we have y is equal to 1/2 x plus b. Now we need to know what b is, and we need a way to find it. Well, we already found the slope, and we know what x and y values are. We were told that when x is equal to -3, y is equal to 2. So if we plug in those values into our equation, 2 is equal to 1/2 times -3 plus b. Solving for b, we get -3 over 2 plus b. We add 3 over 2 to both sides, and we get 3.5 is equal to b. So the equation of this line is equal to y equals 1/2 x plus 3.5. So we can find the equation of a line even if we're only given 2 points on that line. All right, we're going to do some basic slope review now that we've done that question in case you don't understand what just happened. You can skip to the perpendicular lines section if you already understand slope well. But what just happened? What is slope? Well, the slope of a line describes much the y value of my line changes for every 1 unit my x value changes. So if x is equal to 0, when I go to x equals 1, I expect the value of y to change for most lines. Slope just tells me exactly how much that changes. And there's a formula that you need to memorize to find the slope of a line. You cannot do well on these questions without knowing the formula for slope off the top of your head. Change in y over change in x. And let's review once again what that means with another example. Let's say we're told that 2 points, 1, 2, and 7, 10, are on the same line, and we're asked to find the slope of that line. Well, the change in y is given by 10 minus 2. And then the change in x is given by 7 minus 1. So the slope is 8 over 6. That reduces to 4 over 3. So the slope of the line is 4 over 3, and we can write this equation of a line as y equals mx plus b, where m is that slope, 4 over 3, and b is the y-intercept. In the previous example, we found the y-intercept by plugging in the values of y and x that we were given. And we can do that again. So y is equal to 10 when x is equal to 7. And we'd have 10 is equal to 28 over 3 plus b, subtracts 28 over 3 from both sides, and we'd find that b is equal to 2/3. And again, what does this equation really mean? Well, it means that for every increase in the value of x by 1 unit, so every time I move 1 unit to the right, I should expect my line to increase its height 4/3 of a unit. When x is equal to 0, y is equal to 2/3. When x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2, which is an increase of 4/3 of a unit, 1 and 1/3. And that matches the original information we were given in the stem of this question when they told us that there's a point 1, 2 on this line. So just a slope recap for the beginners. Slope is equal to the change in y divided by the change in x. So you take the second y coordinate you are given and subtract the first one. That's 10 minus 2 in this example, divided by the second x coordinate minus the first. That's 7 minus 1 in this example. And that gives you your slope, which is 8 over 6 for this example. Again, what that means is that when you move one x coordinate to the right, you would expect to go up by 4 over 3 y units, which we can see when we draw this line. Now let's talk about perpendicular lines. So two lines are perpendicular when they cross, and there are 90-degree angles between them as they cross. That's what it means to be perpendicular. And it's very simple to find the slope of a line that is perpendicular to another line. Let's take our example of a line with points 1, 2, and 7, 10. We find the slope of that. It is 10 minus 2 over 7 minus 1, which is 8 over 6, and 4 over 3. So the slope of that line is 4 over 3. The slope of a line perpendicular to this line is -1 times the reciprocal of the slope. So -1 times 3 over 4, which is -3/4. Let's practice this. Line L has equation 2x plus 3y equals 12. What is the slope of a line perpendicular to line L? So let's rearrange this into slope-intercept form by subtracting 2x from both sides. 3y is equal to -2x plus 12. Now divide both sides by 3. So we have y is equal to -2/3 x plus 4. Now the slope of a line perpendicular to L would just be -1 times the reciprocal of the slope. So positive 3 over 2, because we flip the numerator and denominator and multiply by -1. That gives us 3 over 2. Coordinate geometry questions should be free points on the ACT, and we're going to show you why. So if you get asked to find